Hi there everyone, welcome to the last lesson in the coal mining sequence of lessons for Year 8 Humanities. You're going to be given plenty of time to do this, okay, so don't panic about anything I'm about to tell you. You are going to be levelled on your mining disaster assessment, and it is going to be an oracy-based assessment, okay? You're going to improve your script writing skills, and you're going to create an oracy presentation about a mining disaster of your choice. So what you should have done at the end of last lesson is, from this list of disasters, maybe the Sangenes one on the end as well, you would have created a lot of research resources and just gathered information about one of these disasters. You're now going to turn that into an oracy presentation with an accompanying PowerPoint. All right? So you should include some history about the mine, the date of the disaster, events that led to the disaster, what happened, what sort of rescue effort took place, how many people died, who was to blame, what can be learnt, and if there's any other similar disasters that happened since then. Now, depending on the disaster you've chosen, some of these may not fully apply. There might not have been anyone to blame. But in that case, still cover, was there anyone to blame? Was it natural? Was it man-made? Could it have been avoided? A little bit like the Aberfan disaster could have been avoided. But some of these you'll be able to go into more detail than others, depending on which of the mining disasters you chose from the list. So you should write your script in your book, but aim to learn it quite well so that you don't have to look down all the time and you can speak clearly to the audience. Now, it says you may create a PowerPoint. I do want you to create a PowerPoint to accompany your presentation. But the important thing with this PowerPoint is you do not just type your script on the PowerPoint and read off the board. You should be speaking to the class, telling them all about the mining disaster that you've chosen, and what's on the PowerPoint behind you should be images and basic sentences or basic facts and figures that support what you are saying, not just repeating what you're saying, okay? Now, when we come to present these in class, if you've got a PowerPoint, you need to have it on a memory stick, so we can just plug and go as each one of you gets up at the front of the class. Now, as I said, don't panic, because getting up at the front of the class isn't the easiest thing. If you're a little bit nervous, practice makes perfect, all right? This is why we do oracy presentations, to build your confidence and for you to get better and better at just getting up and getting on with it. However, I'm not saying that all of us are able to just get up and get on with it. So we can always cross the bridge when we come to it. Some of you need to pre-record on an iPad, and I can mark it from an iPad instead. Your success criteria. You should be clear and confident with your speech and vary the tone of your voice. That's called intonation. Avoid just reading the full script word for word. If you've learnt it fairly well, it'll mean that you're able to present it more easily. Use the notes to prompt you. You don't have to learn it off by heart. You can have your book with you. Talk to the room, not down to your notes. Make eye contact with your audience. Your points should be in a clear chronological order, dealing with these things. A clear introduction and conclusion with the main body of the presentation in between, and it should be between 2 to 4 minutes long. Okay. What I will also put up to accompany this PowerPoint on Moodle is the mark scheme. I'm not trying to trip you up. I want you to do well. So take a look at that mark scheme and it will show you exactly what you need to do to be able to access each level. So when you come back into school and you bring in the work from this, what I'm expecting to see is, number one, in your books, 2 or 3 pages worth of really well detailed script that cover in detail what went on in the disaster you chose. Number 2, a memory stick with a PowerPoint on it that's going to go with the script when you present. Now, if you don't have a memory stick, don't rush out and buy one and spend any money. Just email a copy to me, gleasona@hubcymru.net. Email it as an attachment a day or 2 before the lesson you're going to be presenting. Keep these things in the back of your mind when you're thinking about structuring your script and your PowerPoint presentation. And refer to the mark scheme that I'm going to put up on Moodle as well. If you need anything at all, drop me a message, gleasona@hubcymru.net, and I'll see you soon for these awesome presentations.